At the point when Veda and Arjun's families meet to talk about their marriage, the discussion rotates around their common advantages and leisure activities. The two arrangements of guardians appear to concur that the couple would make a wonderful pair, as they share numerous leisure activities and normal interests. Veda's grandma, who is strict and bereaved, strolls into the room and nonchalantly inquires on the off chance that the couple have engaged in sexual relations yet. Different elderly folks are stunned, and Arjun and Veda are left humiliated. Veda's grandma demands the significance of actual closeness in a relationship, as she accepts leisure activities can be deserted, and interests change after some time. Sometime thereafter, she secretly describes to Veda her relationship with her own better half, Veda's granddad, which depended on shared fascination for one another, as well as the capacity to fulfill the other in bed. Following this, Veda and Arjun become cozy, frequently leasing private lodgings to participate in intercourse. Veda admits to her grandma that however she partakes in the experience, she isn't left inclination completely fulfilled. In the interim, Veda's folks are scolded by Veda's grandma for having allowed the flash to cease to exist of their own relationship, and constraining something very similar onto their girl. One evening, Veda and Arjun visit her grandma, and energetically declare that they have at last perceived how to fulfill the other individual in bed. Veda's grandma is satisfied to hear this, and kindly offers her endowments for their wedding. She even proposes to set up her space for them, to involve on their wedding night as a vacation suite. Ashita is a visual creator in her mid-40s who lives alone. She experiences regular headaches. Her servant Seema visits during the day to clean her loft. One evening, Ashita strolls in on Seema engaging in sexual relations with her better half Kamal in her room. Excessively stunned to defy them, Ashita stows away while the couple finish and leave. Ashita understands this is an everyday event except can't stop it. She additionally acknowledges being turned on by watching them engage in sexual relations. The following day, she subtly begins concealing in her loft to keep an eye on them through a mirror and leaves her office day around 3 p.m. on the misrepresentation of seeing an acupuncturist for her headaches. At some point, Seema spots Ashita in a similar mirror and acknowledges she is being watched. Incapable to go up against Ashita in case she be terminated, yet additionally energized by having somebody watch her, she proceeds and imagines as though nothing has occurred. One evening, Ashita inadvertently pushes something over, creating an uproar and compelling Seema to face her. The two throw allegations at one another and Seema is terminated. She battles to get another work, while Ashita can't find one more house cleaner, as bits of gossip about the squabble have spread. Around evening time, Kamal and Seema contend with one another external their little one-room condo, right where she found and hollered at her girl for speaking with her sweetheart. Kamal is at first irate with Seema for shouting at her for something trifling openly at odd hours of the evening, which then at that point developed into a contention about her energetically permitting an intrusion of their security by Ashita, yet accommodates, when he understands she did so purposefully as a turn-on. Half a month after the fact, Ashita and Seema run into one another while purchasing food. They inquire about the other's prosperity, and Seema inquires as to whether she can return to work. Ashita concurs, and surrenders the keys to her condo. The following day, Ashita slips once more into her condo at 3 p.m., demonstrating a revisitation of the old examples. A fruitful chief of a wedded organization yet has a stressed relationship with his better half meets with a mishap while driving his old vehicle. Before the mishap, he had a video call with his sweetheart, who diverted him and made him collide with a tree while attempting to try not to hit a cyclist. Unfit to begin his vehicle or utilize his telephone, he looks for help from the cyclist and they go to a close-by town. He requests that a hesitant specialist fix his vehicle, however there is no telephone signal accessible. He goes to a bistro and hears a natural tune playing close by. He follows the sound and finds a lady in a red sari moving at a local area corridor. He attempts to move toward her, yet she denies being the individual he thinks she is and requests that he leave. A cop shows up and addresses her by the name he called her, which fulfills him. Inside her home, it is uncovered that they were once hitched, however she vanished decade prior. He is excited to see her once more, yet she believes him should leave. They review their past and have discussions, during which he acts improperly towards her. She over and over requests that he disappear, yet he denies. They examine the occasions paving the way to her vanishing, and she thinks that their companion Annie was involved. He uncovers that he wedded Annie and had youngsters with her, turning into the president of Aina's dad's organization. This enrages Shanti, who thinks Annie coordinated her kidnapping to wed Vijay. They have intercourse, and keeping in mind that lying together, Shanti specifies the pregnancy test she took before her vanishing. Vijay's reaction uncovers that he controlled the circumstance and arranged all that to wed Annie. Shanti understands this and stands up to him, and he owns up to suffocating and killing her with a pad. To get away from the showing up cop, Vijay gets away from through a window. Back at his vehicle, he sees individuals hauling his body out, thinking he is dead since he didn't answer. Shanti shows up close to him and lets him know he ought to have returned whenever he gotten the opportunity, to which he screams. Sraj Singh is a rich, previous lord in country Rajasthan, who lives in a royal residence with his better half and stepchild. He is physically harmful towards, in addition to his significant other Devyani, yet additionally 2 little kids in the town. He had hitched Devyani in the wake of yearning for her in a prostitution house, and took in her child as well. After he attacks a housekeeper working at the castle, driving her to stop, Devyani is entrusted with a substitution. On a customary week after week call, Devyani's mum, who runs a prostitution house, tells Devyani of a youthful whore getting the illness HIV through a client. Devyani's mum feels terrible for the young lady as her life is destroyed early on. In the interim, Devyani is setting up her 20-year-old child, Anka, to move to joint realm for advanced education. Anka is hesitant to abandon his mum with his stepfather, yet Devyani's drawn-out plan is to follow Anka abroad once he settles down. Sraj deters Anka in his arrangements, and furthermore continues to scold him for his obscure dad. Sraj sets his on Rika, the new servant employed by Devyani to supplant the person who quit. Rika is youthful and honest, and Sraj attempts to exploit her on the guise of getting a back rub. Anka strolls in simultaneously and Sraj is driven out. In the meantime, Anka sees Rika's tousled appearance as she changes her attire. Around evening time, Devyani is awoken by hints of joy and groaning radiating from a room in the palace. She accepts it is Sraj and Rika and appears to be strangely satisfied. Obscure to Sraj, Rika is the previous whore employed from Devyani's mom to work in the palace. Devyani introduces her, trusting that she will pass the infection on to Sraj once he unavoidably attacks her. As Devyani strolls towards the space to look for affirmation, she is intruded on by the sound of Sraj coincidentally finding the house. He is plastered and unfit to walk, and drops in the patio. Devyani is stunned and turns with a look of loathsomeness at the sounds actually exuding from the room. She understands her arrangement has horrendously blown up, as Rika is reasonable engaging in sexual relations with Anka.